Welcome to Legendary Chats. Legendary Chats with Legendary. Hey, hey, hey. Thank you for tuning in, my beautiful butterflies. How are we? How are we for real, for real? I'm not gonna hold you. It's been a long, hard week. Pun intended. Well, no pun intended, sorry. But anyway, it's been a long, hard week between mothering, trying to keep my house clean, work, personal projects. Y'all already know the long list of responsibilities in adulthood. I'm really tired and I'm a little drained, but I said today I'm gonna show up for myself and I'm doing something for myself. And that something is spending quality time with y'all by creating this video for y'all. So do me a favor and keep watching, okay? Today, we are going to be discussing the D word, divorce, or more generally, breakups, and specifically how to support your friends through that. If y'all don't know, I am divorced. I've been divorced for about 3 years now. Stop counting. Thank God it's over. But I am divorced. And I wrote an article a while back. Did you read it? If you didn't, as usual, I'm gonna put the article link in the description box. But I wrote it about this product called Dear John for Essence. And it's basically a box or like a registry that you can use to buy gifts for someone who's experienced a breakup. Genius idea, by the way. You can Google it and it might come in handy at some point. But anyway, I wrote that article and I think it was a really important article because I honestly think people sometimes don't know how to support friends through breakups, and it's something that we should talk about more. On that note, grab your snacks. As usual, let me know what kind of snacks you like in the comments. Today, I have some pretzels, but I'm following a nutrition plan, so I can't have my usual goodies. So I'll live vicariously through y'all. Tell me what snacks you're eating. And let's get into the topic. Y'all, I do want to add as well, for those who follow the little gossip sites or have seen it in their news feed and who watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, Portia Williams and Nene Leakes are at odds again. And it was so timely for my video because what are they at odds about? Portia's getting a divorce from Simon and she feels like Nene did not show up for her, didn't show up for Lil Sis, and she's hurt by that. And I could relate with Portia. I can relate with Portia. I hear Nene's argument that, she didn't want to be intrusive and she didn't want to ask too many questions. But I feel like that argument is valid for someone who is more of an acquaintance than a friend. You know what I'm trying to say? You don't necessarily get into your acquaintance's personal business, but for a friend, you probably should have sent a text and asked if she was okay. But that's just my take on it. That said, taking it back to my personal situation, I got divorced in 2021. It was one of the most difficult things that I've been through. For anybody who has been through a divorce, it is a death. It is a deep, deep grieving, even when you want the divorce. I wanted to get divorced. Getting divorced is still one of the best decisions that I ever made, but it still didn't make it any less hard, especially because we share a child together. If I'm being honest, the process might have been easier if I had more support from my friends. I do want to put a clause out there. I have incredible friends. I love my friends so much, and I know they love me too. But I didn't feel very supported through my divorce, but I'll also take accountability and say I didn't voice my needs. I had not done the level of self-work that I've done now to be able to ask people for what I need. I thought people should just know what I need and they should just show up for me, kind of like what Portia is doing. So that said, let's get into, why somebody may feel the way Portia or I felt, and that is usually unvoiced expectations. I had unvoiced expectations about how my friend should show up for me. And I had this fantasy idea that people should or my friends specifically should automatically know what I need. They should automatically call me and text me every day. Actually, don't call me because I'm not gonna pick up, but text me. They should send me self-care boxes or flowers or just check in and see how I'm doing. And that was not the reality of how it turned out. So when you have, uncommunicated expectations and they're not met, what usually happens? We behave passive aggressively. We are resentful, or like in Nene's case, we completely Portia's case, we completely cut our friends off. Some people may argue that that is a valid response and will still argue to the ends of the earth that your friend should know, like, why would I need to tell you that I need support during my divorce? But the truth is, I know it's a hard pill to swallow, but people are going through their own stuff too. Yes, you are going through a difficult time, but people are trying to keep their head above the water and fighting for their life every single day, honey, and on Rosa Parks internet. So People going through their own stuff. So we have to be big people and use our words. As we tell our kids, use your words and let your friends know what you need. All right, so now the real question, how do you support your friends through a breakup? There is not a one-size-fits-all answer for this. It's very, very nuanced, right? Because it is relative to the person and what they need, which is the point of my first tip. Ask your friends how they want to be supported when they are going through difficult times. I know everybody's friendship is different, but maybe navigate away from the very basic conversation. I have these amazing friendship cards that I love, and I use them with my friends, and they ask you questions like this within the friendship card, so you can get to know your friend on a deeper level. Because sometimes your conversation can become so routine, how are you, how was your day, what are you doing, that we forget that friendships are an intimate relationship. And just like with your partner, how you're continuously learning, you should continuously be learning about your friends too. So it doesn't hurt to ask your friend, how do you like to be supported during difficult times? Also keep in mind that that response can change depending on where they are in their life. What you needed 2 years ago may not be the same thing you need 5 years later. What you need through a breakup may be very different from what you need through a job loss, right? But yeah, have that conversation and ask what they need, so at least you have a general idea of what their needs are. My personal love languages are acts of service and also words of affirmation. My third one would definitely be gifts, which I'm just learning. So I would have really appreciated regular text messages affirming me, telling me how loved I am. I would have appreciated regular checkups. I don't know what that would look like, maybe once a week. How are you, Elizabeth? How are you feeling about everything? Is there any way I can support you? That would have gone a long way. I'm not saying my friends never checked on me, but it was kind of like a 1 or 2 and done thing. And I was really going through it, and I just didn't have the vulnerability and the tools at the time to be like, look, I'm in the trenches, help. Show up for your friend in that way. Check on them regularly. And I wrote an article about, how to show up for your friends when they're grieving, I think last year. And it's just kind of a similar concept, right? Sometimes when a friend's loved one dies, we check on them once or twice and that's it. But the grieving process is pretty long. So it doesn't hurt anytime that you remember the person is grieving to just check in and ask them how they're doing. I also would have so much appreciated, and maybe this goes into acts of service, somebody coming to get my son. I was divorced with an extremely young baby, and actually I'm gonna rewind because I was separated for almost a year or something before I got divorced. But I would have so much appreciated somebody to be like, hey, let me get your son for the day, just so I can have a day to cry. All the parents out there or non-parents have probably seen those little videos on social media where it essentially is making fun or light of situations where parents have to compartmentalize their grief and have to wait until their kids go to bed to cry, or can't even get a moment to cry because your kid is asking you for a snack. But yeah, it would have been nice to have someone get my son so that I could just grieve and cry and be sad, but I just had to keep on pushing through that. All my quality time girlies, I have friends whose love language is quality time. If you have a friend going through a breakup who their love language is quality time, you could plan a slumber night, right? That is a beautiful thing that you could do with your friend after a breakup that could make them feel very loved. I will say in recent years, I have been very lucky. I met a friend when I was going through a breakup who planned a picnic for me, and it was the sweetest thing ever. And she brought me a basket with things that she loves inside of it. I know that sounds funny, but it actually was very sweet because I got to know more about what she likes, right? Through the things in the basket. And we talked, and it was really sweet. And I really, really, really appreciated that gesture. And I felt very loved and supported through that moment. So that's just an idea of how you can support your friend, Another tip that I would recommend for how people can support their friends through a divorce or a breakup is through being resourceful. I joined a divorce group, as I mentioned earlier, and it was a saving grace, y'all. On days where I was sad, depressed, angry, mad, being able to talk about it with other women or even just read their stories made me feel seen, heard, and not alone. If you have resources you can research for your friend moving beyond a Facebook group, maybe they're having a difficult time in their divorce or their breakup, they have to look for a new apartment. Now they need childcare, they need extra money because their partner was the breadwinner. Be hands-on. Look for ways that you can support them, whether that's researching divorce lawyers for them, gathering information from any of your networks. Just show that you're there with them and they're not doing it alone. It's all good to say, I'm here for you, call me if you need anything. But sometimes I feel like that is a cop-out, and it's a term that is overused and has no action behind it. Ain't no gas in that tank. So instead of just saying that verbally, ask them again, can I support you? What task can I take on within everything you're going through to help support you and move past this breakup? For some people, they might decide that they need a therapist now, you know? Maybe you can go and help them research therapists. Just be proactive and look for a way to show your friend that you're there for them and you love them while they're going through their breakup. My last tip is to affirm your friend. Whether their love language is words of affirmation or not, everybody needs affirming. And the mind can be such a dark place when you are going through a breakup, especially if you've had several breakups, or you're in a cycle of maybe choosing the wrong partners, or you're having self-esteem issues and feel this affirms that you're unworthy of love because yet another relationship didn't work. These are all the kind of thoughts that can go through your mind. It can be so dark, so lonely, so painful. So please, in the morning, send your friend a text. I love you. I'm here for you. You're amazing. You're worthy. Affirm them, lift them up, pour into them with your words. It goes such a long way. Especially when you're going through it and you receive those kind of messages randomly, it can really, really lift your spirit. If you're gonna forget, I know everybody likes to use the excuse, I'm busy. Put reminders in your phone. We put reminders in our phone for those who have iPhones or any kind of smartphone for things that matter to us. And if you really love your friend, that should matter. Put a reminder in your phone to send them a message, send them a card. You know, if you're creative, write them a poem. Just do something to lift your friend up and affirm them and pour into them, so they remember that they're still worthy, they're still loved, and they still can find love again. You know, maturity and healing have taught me that it is absolutely unfair to hold people to an expectation that I have not communicated. So I really had to move past that kind of maybe resentment that I felt towards my friends and show them grace, because guess what? Also, I haven't shown up for my friends in the ways that they have wanted. And I know that to be a fact. I haven't always done that. And part of it could be because they didn't communicate. And the other part could be because I didn't have the capacity. And it's a very human thing, and it's a very normal thing, and everybody deserves grace. As they say, think about all the times that your people did show up for you and take that into account when you're upset about the time that they didn't. So that said, I had to kind of just let that go and moving forward, learn how to communicate. I remember on my birthday the year before last, I didn't get cards from my friends or anything at all aside from a birthday message. And not that that's a terrible thing, but I realized I had expectations. I wanted at least a card. I wanted some kind of gesture that showed beyond a text that they were thinking of me, a text or a call. So guess what I had to do? At first I was salty about it, and I was like, I'm throwing all my friends in the trash. It's over. But then I had to be honest with myself and say, well, did you communicate these expectations to them? The answer was no. I had to take my L, and guess what I did? I communicated like a big girl, and I told my friends with love that, hey, these are my expectations, and some did better the next year, some did not. Either way, it's all good. So that said, if your friends haven't shown up for you through a breakup or anything generally, and you feel disappointed and sad about that, all those feelings are valid, but also show your friends grace and communicate. Talk about what you need and how you want to be supported. And if they still never show up for you, it doesn't mean they're going to show up for you every time. Then it might be time to reevaluate that friendship. All right. I hope this helps. I don't know where Portia and Nene are going to end up in their relationship. We know the Real Housewives franchise girlies be breaking up and making up every other day. But, you know, hopefully it's something they can talk about. And in the future, Portia will also communicate her expectations and her needs within her friendship so people know. So once you communicate those needs and people don't show up for you repeatedly, then you know where you stand with them. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys, I hope you enjoy your day. Thank you for rocking with your girl. Thank you for those who watched to the end. You're the real MVP. Make sure you like, subscribe. I don't remember what the other one is. Download. I don't know, y'all. Just do all of them. Support your girl. Chocolate kisses. Sending you so much love. Mwah.